Imagine a single court ruling so powerful, it completely redefines human rights and ignites a nation already simmering with tension. Consider a decision that didn't just interpret law, but arguably helped push an entire country to the brink of civil war. The Dred Scott versus Sandford Supreme Court decision of 1857 deeply angered abolitionists because it denied black people, whether enslaved or free, the legal standing of citizenship, thus preventing them from suing in federal courts. Even more profoundly, it invalidated the Missouri Compromise, declaring that Congress lacked the constitutional authority to prohibit slavery in any federal territory, effectively opening all Western territories to the institution of slavery and eliminating a key legislative barrier. The fundamental outrage stemmed from several interconnected legal and philosophical blows. First, the ruling decreed that black individuals were not citizens and therefore could not claim the rights and protections afforded to citizens under the Constitution. This stripped away their humanity in the eyes of the law, reducing them to mere property regardless of their freedom status. Second, by striking down the Missouri Compromise, the court dismantled a long-standing legislative compromise that had, for decades, attempted to manage the expansion of slavery. This act of judicial review, seen as judicial overreach by many, meant that Congress could not protect territories from slavery, essentially nationalizing the institution and confirming the pro-slavery stance that enslaved people were property protected by the Fifth Amendment. For abolitionists, understanding this ruling meant recognizing that the legal and legislative paths to end slavery's expansion were severely obstructed. This forced a strategic reevaluation. Instead of relying solely on political compromises or court challenges to restrict slavery, abolitionist leaders and movements now felt compelled to advocate for more direct and confrontational methods to combat what they saw as a morally corrupt and judicially endorsed system. One often overlooked detail is the notorious phrase from Chief Justice Roger B. Taney's majority opinion, stating that black people were considered so inferior that they had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. This specific language, a stark articulation of racial prejudice from the nation's highest court, further cemented the decision's status as a profound moral affront. Furthermore, the decision effectively overturned decades of precedent and compromise, fueling the Republican Party's anti-slavery platform by demonstrating the unchecked power of pro-slavery forces within the government. Ultimately, the Dred Scott decision was a catalyst, transforming the anti-slavery movement from one hoping for gradual containment to one demanding more decisive action. It clarified for abolitionists that the federal government, particularly the judiciary, was not a neutral arbiter but an active participant in upholding and expanding slavery, thereby making the moral imperative for outright abolition undeniably clear and pushing the nation inexorably closer to conflict.